Gemini, welcome to your June sidereal forecast. My name is Athen. Let's go and look at your chart for this month. So right at the beginning on June 2nd, I'm going back up. I'll reset this from the last video I did. Alright, so second here on June, we've got the full moon in your 6th house. Now you guys had a new moon here in your 12th about 2 weeks ago, back in May. And so this was about the deeper spiritual side of life. This is about making sure that you're getting enough rest, tranquility, connecting to God, the universe, source, however you see that. And, living in the present moment, however you do that for yourself. So that is the culmination point now here, June 2nd, where I think you can really understand that to the fullest. And you're really seeing it and hopefully really applying that stuff. And so that's a culmination of these, more spiritual side of life, which is actually the highlight for you this month, because there's going to be a lot of activity, especially with your ruler, which I'll get to. But a high time of that and understanding. So really reflecting on the second about the spiritual side of things will certainly help you understand more about them and take action in anything relating to that. Sun also involves your communication, so your communications are naturally going through this sort of spiritual transformation. So is your day-to-day work environment, as well as things relating to community as well, with Mars ruling your 6th and your 11th house. Even your home and family things you're reflecting on also. So a lot of this area about this tranquil energy of relaxing and making sure that there's enough of that in those particular areas of your life. Now that's going to be the energy of this culmination for this full moon in that area. But in your 6th house in particular, this is about the day-to-day. This is about work. It's about the everyday experiences. So for those of you who perhaps started something new relating to the everyday experiences, or developing your craft or your routine or your health, your diet, things like that, which hopefully you've been putting in some hard work into with Saturn transiting that 6th house, who's retrograde still, but you're still redoing it, still thinking about those things this month, hopefully. And so a culmination point of a lot of these 6th house matters over the past 6 months. So very nice in regards to that, a high point with those things also. Now around the 4th, we've got Venus, who's going to be shifting into your 2nd house here, which is about the material side of life. There is going to be a big emphasis here of your 2nd house, which is material, abundance. It's about finances, assets, you enjoying the simple pleasures of life. And most fundamentally, it's your sense of self-worth and your values in life. So all of that is going to be highlighted. And now with Venus going in here, I think you're certainly going to have the opportunity there to enjoy the material, simple pleasures of life. And I think you'll find that very spiritual, because Venus rules your 12th house. Again, we come back to this very spiritual, relaxing, meditative importance for you. And then also self-expression. I think you'll be, with Venus ruling your 5th house, I think you'll be very expressive about things in that material level. So that's going to be a shift, and I would, really recommend enjoying those things this month, in a balanced way, of course. Especially balanced because you got Jupiter here. It's been, hopefully you guys have had a lot of opportunities, a lot of abundance to increase your abundance in general, and your values in life too. Maybe even through relationships and through your work also, with Jupiter ruling both your 7th and your 10th. Now on the 11th, this is very personal for you guys. Mercury is going to go station direct. So your ruler here over the past few weeks has been retrograde in that 12th house. So I think you guys were learning a lot about, again, spirituality, just the calm, this is the unconscious, the psyche. It's a lot of different areas working behind the scenes. So whatever you've been reflecting on there, now Mercury going direct is going to be this sort of even more understanding. This lots of understanding about these spiritual things this month. And this is no exception here. When he goes station direct on the 11th, then he's going to go, he's going to fly through that 12th house. So apply these things that you're learning about, the rest and relaxation or whatever. And then that's how you'll really be able to put forward a lot of this mercurial stuff, this important stuff, this everyday stuff. And again, relating to home too, relating to yourself also. Whatever it is you're reflecting on those areas. Now, and that's going to be nice too, because Mercury retrograde is always a time for you guys to be reflecting. So this is a very strong forward-moving energy where you're going to have more momentum as the month unfolds. Now, from the 11th through the 18th, the middle part of the month, we're going to have the Sun conjuncting up to Mars here. And so, again, 12th house, we come back to this. And so the sun here illuminating it, and then Mars, I think you're very motivated by it, okay? So there's something, like I was saying, something going on with the day-to-day environment, and also with your communications and all of this that's going through this sort of spiritual transformation this month. And so now when these two planets come together in the middle part, this is really energizing things. And I think you're understanding a lot more about things like your chi energy, which has been Mars in your 12th house. You're understanding more about how you gain energy through spiritual side of life. You see, how to express yourself more easier and have more fun through the spiritual side of life by taking action. All that stuff. It's just all together. It's all related. And so around the 11th to the 18th, reflect on that. Think about that, because that's a very powerful conjunction there, especially in the 12th house. Okay. Now, on the 12th, minor Neptune goes retrograde, followed by Chiron later on the 24th in your 9th house. So this is going to be a time over the next 6 months where I think you'll be reflecting on the expansive side of life, such as your philosophy, things like travel, maybe things abroad, astrology, divinity, things of this nature you'll be reflecting on during that time period. So I think you might notice a shift here mid-month in regards to those 9th house matters. This is also involving your life path. Where are you going? Because see, Neptune in the 9th has been showing you the importance of just letting go and surrendering and trusting in the whole divine process of where you're going and what your life path is. And so that's going to be especially the case. But when it's retrograde, it's really just like this. You're understanding, like, wait a minute, like you gotta feel your way. You gotta use your intuition. And there's really nothing for you to actually do as much as it's just to see it, feel it rather. Not consciously see it, but just feel it. And then trust, So anyways, that'll be a reflection period for the next 6 months for you in that 9th house area. From the 15th to the 18th, the second half of the month, we've got it's a third trine between Jupiter and Uranus. This has been ongoing since September of last year, and then again it happened in March. So this is the third and final aspect between these two planets, creating opportunities through, again, the financial side of life, the material side of life, coming in from your work or your career. There's lots of changes happening, I think. Lots of old energies being released and changes, all this happening from the career, public sector. And so all of that, those changes are supporting you now towards your abundance, your enjoyment, your values. Also supporting your relationships too, because Jupiter ruling your 7th, and likewise supporting your work because Jupiter rules your 10th house. You see, so these changes. I mean, it's a very nice aspect. And if you look back to that September and then March time period, those are important months when these two planets went to their exact position. That'll give you a kind of a clue in terms of what this is for you personally. Okay, but definitely this month I would certainly focus and enjoy, like I was saying, the values, the simple enjoyments, your sense of self-worth, your self-reliance, the abundance, your financial side of life. I think you'll find that very supportive while making changes at work or with career or legacy. Now on the 16th, we've got the new moon taking place in your 12th house. So there's more energy about the 12th house. You had a new moon here right on the cusp between your 11th and 12th last month. But now it's certainly in your 12th. So there are some new things, new understandings, new illumination, further illumination of your spiritual side, the unconscious, your connection to God, spirit, source, the universe, however you see that. And relaxing, trusting, going with the flow. So much of this emphasis for you this month. And that's going to create new beginnings. Now, it's very energetic, new moon, because it's going to be conjuncting up to Mars, which is very, very exciting. So the key here is just, if you're going to take action, if you're using this chi energy, spiritual energy, if you're just very motivated by these things, it's very important that you go with the flow, especially for you guys. Be malleable. Let go of the details, take action, but don't be so concerned about the details, because the new moon is always a time of learning and changes. And then later on, when that moon starts to fill up, then the energy of it starts to become larger. So I would say around the early 20th through the 23rd, once the moon gets well past that crescent phase, then things will definitely be in high gear for you involving these new beginnings or whatever it is you're involved with. And when that happens, you have the Sun and Mars all going into your first house. So it is really motivating you guys, whatever this is. And it's very exciting. So Mars in the first house, also very, very exciting. This is the day-to-day environment, I think, very active. And community stuff or group stuff, very active with Mars ruling both your 6th and your 11th. And then the Sun here is your communication. So you guys expressing yourself, which is naturally what you always do through your ideas, is really going to be emphasized from this sort of later part of the month, 20th onward, and into July, where you're going to have that's going to be the main emphasis of July. It's going to be all this first house activity. Okay, happy birthday to you, Geminis, who have your birthday at the tail end of June and into July. So very exciting time period, very energetic. Then on the very end of the month, we've got that conjunction between Venus and Jupiter happening in that second house. It goes exact on July 1st, but at the end of this month, you'll certainly be feeling this. So this is nice because it's sudden new opportunities relating to the material side of life, relating to the spiritual side of life, relating to, again, your self-expression, with relationships and with your work. All these things are ruled by these two planets, all happening in the second house. So very nice conjunction. I would really recommend spending time with your relationships, especially at work perhaps, or you know what, just both. You know, I think both of those things you're going to be enjoying. Very optimistic energy, and a lot of that is raising up your sense of self-worth, you know, your value, your sense of self-value, and the things you value in life. Being grateful, hopefully, for the material abundance that you have in your life, and seeing the where you can, you know, just relax and enjoy the simple life, because that's what a lot of this energy is pointing towards with all this activity in your 12th house, the second house, and it's very active though, because these planets are going into your first, into July, which will be a very motivational time for you. So Mercury, Gemini, I did this to the last one too. Gemini, hope you guys have a fantastic June. If you would like a personal reading, please get in touch. Check out masteringthezodiac.com, or if you're new to this form of astrology, check out the website, and hope you guys have a nice month, and I'll see you next time. Take care.